Hey, this just in from StellaPro Lights.
Yes, it's the Reflex Model S.
Hey, these aren't microphones.
Oh, sorry.
Hello?
Yeah, I couldn't tell. Are we answering that? But check this out, man. New toys.
Yes.
I love new toys.
Yeah.
So what do you got here?
We have the brand new Stella Reflex S from StellaPro. And man, we are blown away with how good these lights are.
We've been having a lot of fun lately with these lights. So, I mean, what is it, right?
Yeah.
It's something that we've never seen this form factor in a light before. It's pretty cool. But let's kind of go through. Let's share what this is all about here.
Okay. Yeah, if you've been following kind of our journey with the StellaPro light, you'll know that in the beginning, we kind of didn't know what to do with the light.
With this reflex.
But we're going to show you some things that have changed in the light since we used the first demo models. And man, this thing is really performing well. So like you said, it's different. It's because it is a hybrid light.
Hybrid meaning?
Not only is it a constant LED, it is a high-speed bursting.
Burster.
You know, so this actually has the ability to flash 20 times a second.
Yeah, so it keeps up with most modern mirrorless cameras, right? So it's pretty cool. So like the CLX series that we've been using, those are constant LED lights.
Correct.
This is just like a CLX, but it, like you say, has the ability to burst.
So you've got a trigger right there.
I do.
So you can use other people's trigger systems to fire these lights.
Yeah, this is a Godox trigger.
It is, yep, and it works fine. So
And
if
you
you're already
got
in that
Godox world, right?
then it'll fire.
It works on
your
an
Stella.
Elechrome trigger too. So if you're in the expensive Elechrome world,
That's
it
right.
works on
It's
that
gonna
too.
work for you too. Here's what we were talking the other day of, like, here's what I love about it. So I love the fact that I can shoot this, I can turn it on, and I can use it like my modeling lamp to get my light where I want it to go. I can shut it off, and now it's in the burst mode. It's not really shutting it off, I'm just turning the constant off, switching modes. And now I can flash it, kind of. It's not really flashing, but it's the burst. And so what I say the other day, I'm like, hey, you know what? It's got the buddy mode. So when you're shooting by yourself, you throw a trigger on and you save your battery.
You can work it like a flash.
Yeah, because how many shots do you get out of this thing?
15,000 flashes or bursts.
Yeah,
on one battery charge.
I just heard some guy that was like, hey, I just shot 500 pictures today and my battery still registers full.
Full, yeah.
So 15,000 shots. Or, you know, the buddy mode is, you know, turn this on and now we're in that constant mode.
Constant light.
You don't need the trigger, and now two people can shoot. So if you're like us, and we like to shoot together and not, you know, by ourselves or just all alone, or we shoot with a group, it's got that crazy buddy mode.
So hey, let's back up for a second though.
Okay.
You've got yours in kind of the Frankenstein setting, right?
I do.
Like this is how it comes, looking like this.
Yep.
And it comes looking like this with or with the medium optic, and then optic is just the front kind of focusing spot.
Yeah, so yours doesn't. Yours is just a bare.
Just got the cap on it.
Yep.
So it comes. This is the battery, right?
Yep.
This is the head, and you can see that Mark has his separated, which is really, really cool what you can do. So you can use this where it's all just an all-in-one piece, right? It's got a battery built in. It lasts about 30, 40 minutes, full power on the battery using constant mode.
Constant mode with the battery pack,
Yep.
with the battery handle, it's going to be 6,000
6,000
lumens or 12,000 lumens in the burst mode.
15,000 pops in the burst mode
Yes.
off of one battery charge.
Yep. So we've been finding, about 35, 40 minutes if it's on 6,000 lumens. But most of the time we're shooting a lot less than that. It'll last us a good hour. And we usually don't use it continuously, right?
Because 6,000 lumens, now, if you're using that at noon, which is the time that we always seem to shoot, but if you're using this at noon, 6,000 lumens isn't that bright.
It isn't.
If you're using it at dusk, or you know those really cool, if you're using it
in
indoors,
the shade, or indoors, it's more than enough.
6,000 lumens is enough to fry your eyeballs.
Yeah.
But I'm really intrigued at what you got going on.
Yeah, so
here.
I've got this plugged actually into a little charger there at the bottom. But if you can plug it into a 100-watt charger,
Yeah, like a little brick.
Brick is what it is.
USB-C.
You get 9,000 lumens in the constant mode, 18,000 in the burst mode. So you're up the power
Talking
if
about
you need
frying
it.
your eyeballs.
And then it's smaller, and I put the little attachment on the bottom so that I could just stick it on a light stand.
I think the important thing to say was that these are all, they use USB-C cables, right? So there we go. Standard USB-C cables. They should be a high power cable. I didn't really know this until we got these lights, that there's a difference in USB-C cables.
Correct.
There's power delivery cables and then there's data delivery cables.
Yes.
So this is a power delivery data cable. The cool thing about that is were talking about plugging into a power adapter. You can use any 100-watt power adapter that's USB-C, and it will go up to that full power. So
yeah, the other day I plugged it into my old Paul Buff power pack, right? And
your Vagabond
Vagabond, and it was like, wow, I could walk around with this tiny little light now, plugged in if I needed to, and throw it in the back.
and it will probably last for hours doing that.
If this is 15,000, that one's going to last, or 15,000
till next
flashes. Yeah, it's like charge it next year sometime. But no, it's a very portable system. When we first saw this, remember our first thought was like, oh, that cord.
Yep.
Oh, that's a bad idea. However, this has suddenly become a good idea because
really cool.
We're shooting a lot more stuff indoors lately. It's wintertime. It's obviously not raining too much here in California right now, but it's colder, so we're staying indoors. I love shooting it powered to the wall.
Yep. So also, let's talk about the front, right? This optic.
Okay.
So they've got a couple different options. It comes with the regular medium optic,
Correct.
right? That one's the spot optic.
This is the spot.
And then there's a
This
medium
is the
wide,
wide
right?
medium, which is brand new.
Yeah. Which we found that the wide medium shoots our application shooting style the best.
Correct. Yeah, we found that this spot puts out the most power. Like it really spots it.
It's a real
And
spot,
if you're
though.
looking to spot, it works fantastic. But yeah, with our style, the first time we tried it, we tried to shoot some skateboarders and tried to get them into the tiny spot.
failed miserably.
And we're going, I don't like this light. Stella delivered. They gave us the medium wide optic,
changed
and
changed
suddenly
everything.
now we've got this perfect pool of light.
Yep.
It's as wide as what anything else we're
So
shooting.
I think that the spot works good if you do like product photography, food photography, that kind of thing, because you're really, that's all you're looking for is a pool of light.
Correct.
For us,
Yep.
portrait guys and stuff, you really want the medium wide optic or wide medium. I don't know which way they call it, but that makes a big difference. But they're super easy. It's like, boom, put on the other one.
Yeah.
And these things fit all of the different accessories.
Yeah, so like here's the little dome right here that we use on our CLX 10s.
Yep.
A lot of times we use this for video quite a bit. So if you're already into that StellaPro CLX system, all of your little diffusers that you've already bought fit right on here.
So for us, it's totally exciting because we can use all the adapters that we already have. Even if you're one of the guys that likes to shoot with barn doors, they've got a full selection of barn doors.
Correct.
They've got filters, color gels, all that kind of
The
stuff.
gel holders that fit
so
right on there.
No matter what kind of photography you are, there's something for you,
Correct.
which is really cool.
And it's got the same outside mount that the CLX 10 has. So we were so excited when they came out with that new Shimira softbox just for these Stella lights, and they fit right on the on
in
the
fact,
Reflex
this just
as
like
well.
like the CLX has the Elechrome Ranger Quadra Ranger connector built into the light. So if you have any of those accessories, they pop right on in the standard mode too.
Yep.
Pretty cool. The one thing too that we use it, and in fact you have yours set up here on the top.
It's right here.
Is so we love spider holster products too.
You do.
And so Stella actually has configured theirs to use these spider pins both on the bottom and on the top.
You can put them here.
So
put a
depending
hole
on where you want to hang it, you can actually hang this right off of your spider holster, which is pretty doggone handy. So
yeah, so we're kind of run and gun shooters. So carrying this around, man, is nice. That handle fits right in your hand, and you can fire if you're doing kind of that one run and gun handheld. And so
one thing I wanted to talk about too real quick is that one of the things that we've loved about the StellaPro lights in general was the quality of the light that comes out. And I don't mean just like, oh, it looks great. No, the color temperature is constant. It doesn't flicker.
Yeah.
It's always pure, right? It's very nice skin tones. We found that this
it's
just
equal
like,
to everything
it's
we've
just like
been
a
used
Stella
to.
light that we're used to. So I was a little worried at first that maybe things were different. They're not. Works great. The other thing too is water resistance, right? So a lot of the StellaPro lights are completely submersible in water.
correct.
This is not. If you submersed it, you'd probably be in trouble.
But you can go out and shoot in the rain.
But you can
this.
totally shoot in the rain. I forget what they call it. It's like IP3 or something certified, which means that it's drenchable, right? Not
yeah,
drownable.
you can go stand out in the pouring rain. with it.
Drenchable, but not drownable.
Yeah, and that's only because I think they have a fan inside
They do,
the heat
yep,
sink, and
yep.
so you don't want that damage that if it was actually submerged.
Yeah.
But
So the other thing that was kind of a neat design is, and this sounds kind of silly because it's not a big deal, but it really is a big deal, is this little strap, right?
Yeah.
Which, when I first picked it up, I'm like, oh, cool, a hand strap. But no, it's more than that. If you were to use it on a light stand, right, you can wrap this thing around. It just pops off, and you can do all sorts of like cool stuff to, I don't know if you can see it there, but just make it into a strap. You can do all kinds of neat things. So
Gives you that ability to
Just
attach
the
it.
extra ability to attach it to something. So I'm pretty impressed.
All right, so let's look at some of the things that we've done with this light. So we've
Yes.
now that we fell in love with these lights, we actually have done it like 3 or 4 different shoots with it now.
full-on shoots.
And it's been performing incredibly well.
It's been really good. In fact, one of our last workshops, we went back to the junkyard. If you guys seen any of our other videos, it's one of our favorite places to shoot. We brought a bunch of friends out to the junkyard to actually, we're going to show them the light, right? And, you know, we're always a little worried what people are going to think of something new, right? What did everybody say when we pulled it out?
Yeah, what in the world
What
is
is
that?
that? That's cool because everybody loves looking at new toys.
We do.
So we ended up shooting out at the junkyard, and we were actually really, really happy with the results we got. So I'm going to pop up a few pictures.
Okay,
Mark?
let's take a look at what you got.
Take a look at what we got. So the first one you can see, our model in the red dress there, like phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm almost speechless. Look at that, completely tongue-tied. I don't know what I could have done better necessarily with a different light.
And that was with the medium.
That was with
this
the
one's
medium.
a spot, but it had the medium
Yep.
optic on
Yep.
it, and that's what you were
And
getting.
that's what I got. So you can see beautiful catch lights in the eyes. It's just stunning.
Yeah.
And the thing that was nice about that medium optic is it gave her head to tush coverage essentially, right?
correct.
So it covered her whole body.
And what's nice with the medium wide, we can get a full shot now. But it's a good, that medium is good for a, waist up
Yeah,
shot.
and definitely. So like this one where I had her kind of leaning back on the hood of a car, same idea. It was backlit by the sun, so that's what you're seeing rimmed out through. But still, look at just how that light fell off perfectly.
Yeah.
And I think it's a little sharper as far as like light, contrast than I'm used to, because we're used to using big soft boxes and stuff. But this is just with an optic. If I would have put the Shimura softbox on it,
Yeah, you could have gotten that
I
nice,
could have gotten that nice
smooth.
smooth. So really cool. And just one more of her. She put on a coat and just having her just a close up. I love close up face shots.
So here's the thing: we've been talking a lot to people about these lights and about the CLX10s, and we shoot differently with them, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're somebody who we've always been attracted to that very dramatic, where
Yeah, we like the drama.
we darken that background down and we throw a bunch of light out to overpower it and make things very dramatic. This is gonna probably, like it did us in the beginning, gonna frustrate you a bit.
Right.
But if you like that more natural light look and you want to supplement it and you're like, I'm just missing something in my natural light shots, that's where the StellaPros, man, they shine.
They're really, really nice.
Truly shine.
They do. So, just 2 more shots, like Nicolette, right? So I had a really strong backlight coming in with that sun pouring over the top of her head, but it was really nice. I could balance it out. And I was actually blown away with this shot at the coverage I got all the way down her body.
Yeah.
I mean, it was amazing. Like her tummy was lit up well, her face, her legs leaning up against the car. It looked pretty doggone incredible. And that's just from this little thing.
Yeah. And you shot with it all day.
All day.
Yeah. So you're turning it off and on and off and
All
on. Or were
day.
you shooting a burst?
Both.
Both. A little bit of both. Yeah. Because one time I walked by there and you had 2 other people shooting with you. You had it on constant.
When we brought over all the friends, it was like I put it on constant just because
everybody could shoot.
everybody could shoot it. Now, one thing that I was careful of is I turned it back off when I wasn't using it. So if you just let it run, you're going to burn that battery pretty quick. So here's the cool thing too, is you can buy extra batteries.
Yeah.
Right? So if you have battery anxiety like we have sometimes, like I always worry, am I going to have enough charge? Yeah. You can buy extra battery and pop it on.
And remember, we were really scared about the fact that, like, oh no, on the back, I can't see how much is in the battery. There's a button we can just push in,
how
and it
about that?
tells
Right
us
there, it tells you
how
right
much
there.
power's left in that battery.
And then one more. We've got Billy and Amanda here. This is actually the first shot of the day that I took.
It's funny. I'm going to show a picture here in a minute, and exact same spot, I think. So,
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So, it was pretty funny. Like, they had these real cool kind of vintage outfits on. I did not know if this was going to work. And this was one of those moments where you have that light bulb turn on, you go, oh my goodness, it worked.
It does.
Like, I was really surprised because I had only before this shot it with single people.
Yeah.
And how is it going to look on a couple? And Billy is much darker than Amanda in skin tone, right? How is that going to work?
And this shoot was from like 10 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon. This
Not
was
optimal time.
Midday. You found a shady spot, a little bit of shade, but the sun was out, bright day, and you were able to fill it in that good.
So I was tickled. It was like, oh, that is just sweet. It worked. It worked. It worked. Yes, it worked. I was very, very happy with with the results. What do you got?
What do I got? So I just got 3 photos that I just figured I'd talk to you really quickly. when we first shot it, so this picture is of one of our skateboarders
Yeah.
that we had a video that we kind of showed that first time we used the Stella light. And one of the things I look at is I was very critical of the light just simply because I had this tiny pocket of light it was trying to get through. But the reality is it's been fixed now. But I go back to this photo and I go, but you know what? When he was in that pool of light, was it bright enough? Heck yeah, I got plenty of light out of this thing. You know, was it the quality of light, the quantity of light? Everything was great. It just, my spot optic was too tight. And that frustrated me. They fixed it, and now we move forward to, you know, when I was there that same day at the junkyard. Yeah, this is actually that same door, just shot at a different angle there. But this was like my first shot of the day. I brought it out and I'm going, okay, I'm gonna today shoot with just this light and really see what it can do. Turned it on, I took the first shot and went, wait a minute, that's actually working. And you know that I hate shooting things without a softbox. It's hard light is just something. You like hard light, it just scares me. I don't know, I don't like how it works. But even here, I just love it. It's a great light on the face. It's not specular. It looks good. It's, again, easy to use. And I had it on, I don't want to pull it all the way up, but this is that Manfrotto Nano stand. This stand weighs like 2 pounds.
Yeah, it's really light.
The beauty of it is that so many times we leave like our big lights in the car because you're thinking, I don't want to lug those big things around. I actually like pull this out and go, okay, how can I figure out how to use a StellaPro today? Because I love using lightweight equipment. So that thing, I could get around the junkyard and move things around as I'm watching people pull C-stands around.
Whacking
I'm just like, ooh, love this, to set this out. So that was that time. But here's when I really fell in love with the light. So we're shooting ballerinas.
It's a good day there.
And up on the top of Bald Rock, it's called. And the sun was starting to set and things were happening well. You had just gotten finally the new version of the light. The ones we did at, not the junkyard, but we did at the skate park were like the beta units. And we're kind of back and forth going, what's going on? We're still trying to figure out how to use them. But you're like, here's the final version. Stuck it on the light stand.
But this is when we were really like, wow.
And I put a trigger on and I went, okay, I'm going to give it a try. And I fired it. Because you had been shooting, and you're like, it's working, and I'm like, I don't believe you. I put the trigger,
you gotta see this is amazing.
Put the trigger on, and bang, this is what I got. She was just stretching, getting ready for that last set of the day. And I couldn't believe that it was overpowering that setting sun. Obviously, it's a little lighter, you know, I mean, not as powerful the sun once it starts setting.
Sun,
but, you know, but you can see the sun was still up, but it filled it in perfectly. I had to actually turn it down. I took about 5 shots and you said, give me the light back.
Well, see, what's cool about that shot in particular is it looks naturally lit. And that's the thing that we've liked about the Stellas. So, you know, you had mentioned that we like this kind of punchy, contrasty light pattern usually. But the thing that's been really fun with all of the Stella products is this natural light look on steroids. And that's like this shot. This looks like a natural light shot, just with that kiss of light. And using this...
Just enough.
I mean, it was a light peck on the cheek kiss. Right?
And you'll notice, like, her skin tones match the entire scene. And that's not Photoshop that did that. It's, these lights are so perfectly... I hate to use the word warm because someone's going to go, well, technically, it's at 57
we're not technical type of guys, so it's
all
like,
we can tell you is...
I can tell you what it looks like, but...
When we take a picture with these StellaPro lights, whether it's CLX10, whether it's the Reflex S, we are getting... beautiful skin tones. I love the color that comes out of the color temperature that comes out of these lights.
So yeah, I mean what a good day that was.
Yeah, and so I shot just the other night with them. I don't have those images, and it was with some younger senior portrait-y pictures. So those aren't pictures that I'm going to share. But man, the light worked well.
Yeah, you said. Wow, again.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why we're so surprised that this is working so well, but it really is good.
Yeah, and it was one of those times where I invited a friend out to come help me shoot, and he was able to shoot the same light, where before it was constantly this, here, let me give you my trigger, it just works.
Yeah. So here's the awesome thing about these lights, right? I'm gonna say this might sound negative at first, but it's not. Like, this is not the light for every occasion.
Nope.
It's not. It's not meant to be. This is the perfect light for the wedding photographer, for the senior portrait photographer, for the event photographer, for the photographer on the go, for a journalist. Like if
The natural light photographer.
the guy who likes to dabble in flash but likes LED, the guy that likes flash but likes to dabble in LED,
Yep.
like then it's a perfect light.
Yeah.
Is it perfect for the noon time shooting of a portrait?
Nope, not at all.
It doesn't. It's not powerful enough. This is bright enough to burn your eyeballs, right? But it's not powerful enough to
Correct.
overcome the sun completely.
Yeah.
But all that to say, sweet.
Yeah,
This is a cool light.
Yeah, no, I keep saying the natural light photographer. You know what? I would rather hold this than a reflector
Oh, any day.
any day.
I can never get the
And
reflector.
it's not even that. It's I can have somebody who doesn't know how to hold a reflector. I can say, hold this and point it.
Yep.
They can turn it on and they actually can see where the light's going. Where whenever I've held a reflector, you shoot senior portraits like I do, and you say, Mom, can you hold the reflector on your daughter, on your son? And you're having to teach them how to use the reflector. Or you go into a spot that you go, oh yeah, where's the sun? Get
Yep.
the reflector.
Yep.
Oh, it's 18 miles that way to hold it and try to throw a light on this. It's like having the reflector anywhere you
It's
are.
awesome. It's awesome. So being ambassadors for Stella, which we are, and that's we're upfront about that. Like, but here's the thing that I want to say.
Yeah.
If we don't like a product, we tell them. Right? I
Exactly.
mean, that's the honest thing. Which is actually what we said in the very beginning. We really struggled with this because we tested the beta units and they weren't ready.
We kept saying, we love how they look, we love how they feel, we love the idea.
So now we love this light,
Yeah, 'cause
right?
it's doing what it's
and it's not
supposed to.
because we're ambassadors, but it's because it works. Just what you said, because it's doing what it's supposed to do.
Yep.
And we will only endorse a product that we feel is worth endorsing. So you can take that for what it's worth. They have been very generous and they've given us a code for any of our viewers to actually get one of these at a nice discount, really nice. Actually, it's 20%.
Yeah,
we'll put that below.
discount
but
below. And
pretty sweet. So yeah, just to wrap it up, Stella Reflex, the way to go. Let me, before a real wrap up,
okay.
there's two versions of this we should probably mention.
Yes.
Right? This is the S,
Yep.
which
And
means
then there's the non-S.
non-S, which I don't know what the S stands for. Super.
Yeah, I guess.
But the S version is their deluxe version, and that goes runs at 20 bursts per second.
Correct. These do 20 bursts.
That's a lot of bursts.
Yeah.
Right?
The non-S is 10.
It's 10. That's the difference between the light.
I think my camera only does 10.
Yeah, it probably does.
So.
But I still have to have the S because it's faster.
It is.
But yeah, so that's the difference. So if you want to save a few dollars and you don't need the bursting speed of 20, get the Reflex.
There you go.
Either way, you'll be happy. That's it. StellaPro.
Flex your reflex.
Flex your reflex. You got it.